by someone to write, and or that the lessons are correct or incorrect. I don't have any doubt about that. It's a historical document, just like there's a lot of historical documents that are around, and I'm a history buff.
Oh, yeah.
I never got to see the Dead Sea Scrolls because they were all, all the museum things were sold out. So
check it out on the internet. Maybe give it a read.
It's not that I don't agree with that part of it. It's just that, do I take that to internalize that and make that a part of my life? No, not necessarily.
Well, I think there's a creator to all this. It's just it's too complex. Let's take for a moment your body. Your nerves, your blood, your eyes. Everything in your eye has to work together simultaneously just to be able to see.
Right.
There's so much design there. To say that it just randomly came all together.
I didn't say it was random.
Yeah, or Big Bang, or energy, or whatever. Just kind of all put it together, and the complex design that it all has. It's just, I don't know. There's a creator, designer to everything, right? The boat out there, somebody designed and created that. Your car, we can go on. Your clothes, there was on and on and on. We can go with that.
It's a process.
Yeah,
it's a process. That boat didn't look like that the first draft. There were a lot of drafts before that.
But there was a designer to it.
There was a designer to that draft. There were many
designers to that draft.
Right. There were a lot of designers. So, I am a student of evolution, and I believe that we evolved to be where we are.
Okay.
I don't think that we were just set upon the earth. I just don't believe that.
Well, a couple other things I wanted to show you real quick. You ever heard of laminin? Ever heard of laminin? Laminin. Let me show you that one. This is laminin. This is the cell adhesion molecule in your body. Okay, holds everything together. This is what it's shaped like. This is actually microscopic shots of it. They're all over your body. It holds everything together. Look what Colossians 1:15 through 17 says in the Bible. The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible. Whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. That hold together. And amazing that he's using a cross there in that whole thinking. I found that really amazing too. But laminin, you might want to go, if you get that computer at home, I want to look more into laminin. Then the other thing.
Well, I don't know why you're telling me that.
Huh?
Because it doesn't. I don't know why you're telling me that.
Well, it's a shape of a cross. Well, our sins, the only way we're getting to heaven is for what Jesus did in the cross for us.
Okay, so you're taking a symbolism and you're putting it into. I mean, that's a stretch.
Okay.
I'm trying.
I know.
It's a stretch for me.
Okay. And then the other thing, I don't know if you ever seen the study on the Whirlpool Galaxy. This is the Hubble telescope picture of the what's contained in the center of the Whirlpool Galaxy, and that's an actual shot. You might want to look into that also. It's just I'm not saying that this is God put those. He created everything. Of course, he created that. But
what do the Muslims think that is, I wonder?
Well, I'm not saying the Muslims have to have the right thinking, okay?
Are they wrong?
I think they're wrong.
Do you think they're wrong?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And they're thinking, okay? That doesn't mean they're horrible people. I'm just saying their life journey.
But what bothers me about that is that depending on where you were born, is what religion you became.
Well, there's a lot of there's a lot of Christians in that part of the world.
Christians within that,
yeah.
but really, if you're Chinese, you're brought up with one religion. If you're, depending on where you're born, that's a part of your culture, and your culture is a part of your religion, becomes part of your culture. So that's why I don't like to hear the word right and wrong because I think it labels people who happen to be born in another place as wrong thinkers. And I don't really think that that's fair. I'd like to hear you sit down with a Muslim person and have that discussion, and I'd like to be a part of that so I can hear how different people resolve all the issues about creation and God and Muhammad and Buddha. I'd like someone to resolve that for me, and I think that people are so busy trying to spread their own gospel that they haven't taken into consideration what other people's gospel is and trying to resolve those issues throughout the religious world so that those of us who are trying to live the best life we can have something that we can turn to and say, look, all of these people are able to get along. If they can all get along, then why can't I? Why can't people throughout the world get along with each other? Because we see, people of different religions not being able to get along and calling them right and wrong. And I don't think that that's the best way to go about it.
Well, I think that there is right and wrong throughout the world. I mean, there's right and wrong in everything. A lot of the things you do in your life. Well, I mean,
right and wrong. Killing somebody, morally, that's wrong. I'm talking about the dogma of the belief system of what happens to you when you die. You're able to see the helix, but yet that cross is not in the Muslim. I don't think. I don't know. Is that in their religion?
Yeah.
So,
well, they don't. They're not a. They think that Jesus was a prophet.
A prophet.
Yeah.
Right.
Was a prophet or.
Right, as I think the Jewish people think that he was a prophet.
Rabbi.
So.
I think he was
so,
a rabbi. Well,
I have long.
It's a journey, right?
Yeah.
You can choose to explore more, or you can choose not to. That's really what it comes down to. I'm not going to sit here and get you to agree with me on everything. That we're just talking.
Right.
Okay, I'm just throwing some different thoughts out to you.
Right.
Whether
No, I'm glad that you did because I've especially since I took that course and I saw that the religions were they're really about the same thing. They really want the same thing. They all teach a moral high ground, but they have different ways of going about it. But yet that's not accepted throughout. It's like it's got to be this way or it's got to be that way. I don't believe that.
A lot of them don't. The majority of them don't believe that there's any kind of afterlife, heaven. Okay, they think it's just when you die, that's it. So it's to me, that's kind of sad when you think about it. If you die, that's it. It's kind of depressing when I think about it.
It doesn't depress me. I'm a nurse.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm in the medical field as well.
Yeah. So when really.
Yeah.
So when when you die, you die. I would hope that I could get to see my parents who have both died.
Yeah.
You get to see your son. You get to, know that they are okay. But if not, it doesn't, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid to move on to whatever comes next. So there's not fear, there's no depression. No. It's just life. We live, we're born, we live and we die. And it's a cycle of life, and we can't be here forever. And I hope that every day that I'm here, I'm doing the right thing. I'm living my values. I'm respecting other people. And
well, the urgency to us is you don't know when your life is going to end, and if we feel the Bible's true, and the Bible says if you don't get these things done before you die, you're going to go to hell. And And hell in the book of Luke is described as a place where you're going to feel pain for eternity.
Mm.
So the urgency is whether, I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, you choose to believe in the Bible or you choose not to believe in the Bible. Yeah. But it's there. And so when your time comes, you can just kind of go into it. And I mean, I should, as a Christian, I should be concerned for others. That's why I'm out here. I'm not getting paid to do this.
Oh, I know.
Nothing.
I know
Nothing.
You're doing it because it's what you believe in.
Yeah.
And I respect that you believe this and you feel the urgency. I don't feel that same urgency because I think that people need to live their life not by a fear of something, but because it's the right thing to do. I don't want to be, if I'm only living a good life because I fear what's going to happen in the afterlife. I don't need that kind of negativity to make me do the things that I feel are the right things to do. Mm-hmm. Maybe some people need that in order to try to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. Like some people, the only reason that they're not going to kill somebody is because they don't want to go to jail.
I just did an interview with a man just before you, actually, that he watched his a good friend of his get shot right in front of him. And he lived in Brooklyn and saw a lot of his friends go to jail for life, and and then he turned his life around. And but sometimes your world's got to get rocked a little bit before you will come to your knees.
I agree. My world's been rocked. Trust me. Trust me. My world has been rocked. I almost died like 5 years ago. I had a massive heart attack, and I didn't even have time to maybe like your son. It's like your life does. They say your life passes in front of you. No, my life was like almost over, and I felt the urgency of death, and there was no time to just even think about anything except I'm gonna die, and then I didn't, and I know that I'm here for a reason. I could have been dead. A lot of people die, and that's just that. And I obviously have things that are not done.
Okay.
But when it happens, I am searching for that thing that I'm supposed to do before I die, that I was brought back for. But is that, what form does that take? I don't know.
Well, I believe everything is done for a reason. I believe that we're meeting you here today for a reason. I believe our God is watching this happen right now. But it's ultimately going to be your choice whether you accept Him or not. He could force it on you. He could do it. But I think it's like a father and a child's relationship. When a father or a mother forces their love upon the child, it doesn't mean anything. But when the child comes up to them and hugs them and says, "Mom and Dad, I love you for who you are and what you've done for me," it means something totally different.
Right.
And I think that same love is what He wants from us. He wants us to choose Him. So, it's, I would hope, my prayer is that you'll give it some more thought, maybe do a little more exploration and reading on it, and because you just never know. And to be into heaven where there's no tears, no pain for eternity sounds a whole lot better to me. Where I get to be with my Lord for eternity, that just, for me, that's exciting.
I'm happy for you that, and I'm happy you're doing what you feel is the right thing to do. And everybody does have a different path. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. And